Tom in Media, Pennsylvania, listening on Sirius. Is that you there?
Yeah. Hello, Tom.
Hey.
I understand the idea of the four freedoms, but I think when the four freedoms were, established, there was also a sense of responsibility. And to me, if you want to have a freedom from want, you have to have the responsibility to do what you can, maybe to get yourself educated. And
that's nonsense, Tom. That's just utter BS. I'm sorry, it's nonsense. First of all, there's two premises behind what you're saying. One is that there are lots and lots of jobs out there for people if they just graduate from college, and it's not true. And the second is that somehow if you don't get a higher education, that your work isn't worthy. And that is anti-American. I mean, the American tradition, the American dream has always been, if you're willing to put in a 40-hour week, whether it's as a farmer or a ditch digger or working in the city's sewers or as a garbage collector or anything, if you're willing to put in a 40-hour week and keep your nose clean and be a good citizen, that you should make enough money to be able to have a minimum existence, to raise your family. You should not have to live in poverty. And instead, we've got this new business model that these companies like the entire fast food industry and Walmart have come up with over the last 30 years as a consequence of Reaganomics, where they pay just below the level where they know that their employees will qualify for government assistance. So every Walmart store in the United States costs us about $1 million because all of their employees, or many of their employees, most of their employees, are eligible for food stamps and for Medicaid and for public assistance in other ways. And that's a lousy business model. That is theft from the American people. And those people who are working in those stores, whether it's Walmart or McDonald's, they should be able to have a decent standard of living. Your turn.
I understand, but okay, yeah, I understand, but there are also those that have just pretty much eschewed education, and they've had children, out of wedlock or whatever you want to call it. That
no, Tom. You're presenting the lazy, shiftless minority story that Ronald Reagan tried to do with his.
I'm not talking about minorities.
No, every time Republicans bring this up, it comes back to Reagan's welfare queen, who was black. And Reagan famously in the 1980 election saying, "Doesn't it irritate you when some young buck is standing in front of you in the line in the supermarket with a T-bone steak and he's paying for it with food stamps and you're having to buy a hamburger with your paycheck?" I mean, the racial coding on that is so apparent to anybody who listens to it. And the fact of the matter is that if you give people an opportunity to have a decent job, they will take it. They will take it.
I understand that.
And the government should be the employer of last resort. When we had an unemployment rate of 30% in this country, Franklin Roosevelt said, okay, if private industry is not going to hire people, if capitalism is failing, we're not going to blame the people. We're going to open public jobs. We're going to build the Hoover Dam. Dwight Eisenhower said, people are out of work. We're going to build an interstate highway system. People took the jobs.
I absolutely support that.
There's always going to be, there's always going to be 1 or 2%. The core, what's called the core unemployment level, the number of people who are just going to be lazy, shiftless, and unwilling to work is always going to be around 1% of the population. The free riders. You're not going to get rid of them. But you don't trash all the people the 2 million people on long-term unemployment who are looking for jobs because a small number of people are essentially mentally or socially ill.
Yeah, I understand that. But here's one thing, too. I mean, all the people from, I guess, the left or the Democrats and even the Republicans, in terms of illegal immigration, can you see how that harms our people ability to work and lowers wages? And they want to legalize illegals, which would probably make permanent.
No, actually, what it'll do is it'll raise wages because those people won't be able to be exploited by their employers anymore.